Are you looking to scale your real estate investing portfolio by maybe getting started with apartments? Really the only way to become financially free with real estate. And if so, then here's the key. The key to scaling is having the right kind of network of people around you that are going to make you successful. So in this video, I'm going to talk about, well, what does it mean to have a right network? What are the components of that? How do you build this right network? And the reason you want to do that is this is how you consistently find deals, how you raise capital, and ultimately how you buy your first apartment building, then become financially free. So let's talk about building the right network. Let's do this. My name is Michael Blank, and I help people become financially free with real estate. So you maybe be struggling with one of two or three of these situations. One is you don't have a track record yet because you flipped a house or maybe some rentals, but you haven't done an apartment building deal yet. So what broker is going to take you seriously? What investor is going to take you seriously? That's really going to hold you back being able to get into the apartment building space. Now, you also might say, well, shoot, I don't even have money and I don't have the deal flows. And how do I get access to those? How do I consistently get access to capital? And how do I raise this much capital? And you might think, I'm going to teach you how to raise capital, but no, I'm going to actually teach you how to build a network, which is much more powerful way to solve both of these problems. I remember when I first recognized the power of the network was I went to a RIA meeting and met a guy there. He had just recently sold his company. Now we arranged a lunch and we got down talking and we really kind of hit it off, and he had some money to deploy. Problem was at the time I was in my head, I'm going to raise $200,000. When this was before I got started, right? I'm going to raise $200,000 and I'm going to get into apartment buildings. That just was daunting for me. I had flipped a few houses at the time. And so when I met this guy, I think he sold his company for like $20 million or something like that. He goes, but I really want to partner with someone and I want to deploy $1 million. And at that point, I was floored because here I am dinking around with $200,000. And then this guy gives me with another problem. Right now, instead of looking for a $500,000 property, now if he's going to put in $1 million, I'd have to look for a $3 million property. And immediately, my comfort zone shifted. And I recognized that it's not who, it's who, not how. Right? And in my mind was, how do I, all what I need to do is get to the right who. And that is really to build a right network. And we've learned a lot since then about building network and how that really helps you not only get you your first deal, but also how to get you to a bigger deal faster. For example, if we study the people that work with us, right, they do a much bigger deal. Their first average large deal, their first deal is a $4 million deal. And typically they have it under contract in 6 months. And there's a variety of things that our deal makers do. One of them, of course, they follow our blueprint. They follow a system. They're not reinventing the wheel, right? Number two is they're getting the right support around them, around getting the right community, the right group of advisors and mentors. But number three, this is what I'm talking to here, is they're building the right network. So what does that really entail? So you need a network for a couple of reasons. Number one, we talked about how are you taken seriously by brokers, by investors? Well, it can't be you because you don't have track record. So how do you do it? And the answer is you build a team. You build a team of professionals around you. The most important members are a property manager, right? A lender, maybe an SEC attorney, right? But the lender and property manager are super important. Number one, of course, you need them for analyzing deals because you need to know what assumptions about rent growth or expenses to put in the underwrite. You get that from your property manager. Then what about the loan you're going to get, right? You're going to get that from your lender. What term of the loan are you going to get? So you need all those for underwriting. But most importantly, you leverage your team. And now when you're talking to brokers and say, well, what's your track record? What have you done? I said, you know what? I'm working with Sam. He manages 3,000 units. Sam, he's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm working with Bill over here. He's underwritten $1 billion of loans last year, really specializes in bridge loans. And now your conversation is around your team and not about you, because the broker's not going to challenge you for your lack of track record if you have built a team around that, right? Because obviously you're a serious person because you recruited such a team. So networking is super important. So number one, to have a team of professionals around you. The second reason the network is important is to get access to deals and capital. And the reason is that in a syndication, there's two main roles. One is a deal finder and the other one is a capital raiser. What if 4 videos could give you everything you need to build $10,000 a month in passive income in as little as 180 days? I've proven it many times over, and so have hundreds of other people just like you. And one of the best ways we discovered to reach financial freedom is by investing apartments. Now, I know that sounds like super advanced, but the truth is you can get started today. You don't need years of investing experience. You don't have to have millions of dollars in the bank. So register for the free Masterclass Apartments 101 today and take that first step to really discover how you can build true wealth for yourself and your family. Let's do this. Now, people typically tend to one or the other just simply by our personality, right? So deal finder, you're going to be a little more numbers oriented, maybe more detail oriented, maybe a little introverted. And a capital raiser is the opposite of you, right? A capital raiser is going to be more extroverted. They love the network, talk to new people. They even have maybe access to, because of their jobs, access to higher net worth individuals, but they don't like numbers. They're not going to open a spreadsheet. They don't really negotiate numbers. They're not as detail oriented that you need for due diligence, for example. These two form the two ideal joint venture partners in a syndication. This is why a syndication almost always consists of two partners. And so that's just the way it is. And so in our world, for example, one of the reasons that our deal makers do a larger deal right out of the gate is because of this fact. So imagine you're a deal finder, you learn very quickly how to build your team and start talking to brokers, you start getting deal flow, you come across a $4 million property, you're like, shoot, I can probably only raise $100,000, love raising capital, no problem, because you're going to be a counterpart in our ecosystem. And they're going through the same education, because as a capital raiser, you have to know how to do all these different things like underwrite a deal or how you do due diligence, because you have to explain to your investors that you are knowledgeable about the asset class. So if you're a capital raiser, you're going to have access to high net worth individuals and you're not going to have deals. In other words, a capital raiser needs a deal finder just as much as the deal finder needs the capital raiser. This is why this works so well. And so this is really the third reason that you need to plug into the right network so you have access to deal finders and capital raisers. Absolutely critical. And this is how our deal makers are able to do these larger deals quicker, because of the right kind of network. The third component on your team is, we talked about the right support, but we also talk about the right advisors or mentors. You need to really have someone that can help you do a live deal. How do you know you're doing it right? Right? How are you going to prevent making a big mistake? Are you underwriting it correctly? Are you making the right assumptions? Is that crack in the foundation actually a showstopper, or is it something that's actually easily managed? How do you know? And so you need to have on your team someone experienced. And if you can network your way to someone who's more experienced that basically does it on a volunteer basis, I think that's great. It's hard to do, especially when you have a live deal, because when you have a live deal, you need a lot of time from that person. That person, if you're meeting that person maybe, once a month or every quarter for lunch, they're not going to give you 3 or 4 hours of their time, necessarily even more, to help you with a live deal. So you may have to invest that mentor and that advisor. So these are some of the things. This is why the network is absolutely critical. When you're thinking about what do I need to do, you need to think about building a network, right? Build that network of professionals around you, build that network around partnerships, and then advisors and mentors as well. And if you're currently following a do-it-yourself approach, I think that's fine. A lot of people do that. Just recognize that your first deal is going to take longer, it'll be smaller, and you'll probably make some larger mistakes. So consider working with experienced syndicators. And our team, actually, we have a team of syndicators that will work with you through our mentoring program. So we'd love to have a conversation with you. If you're thinking around, hey, how can I accelerate my results, avoid the big mistakes? Working with a full-time syndicator that we have, for example, in our mentoring program, would be a great way to do it. So if this is something that appeals to you right now, then hop on a call with us. Let's have a conversation. It's a no obligation call, but it might actually help you achieve that next level, get your first deal done as well. So the link should be down below in the video. Go ahead and hop on a call, and we'd look forward to talking with you.